Hello fashion people, this is the outcome of the dress I'm going to be showing how to make in the course of this video, and you can go ahead to design it just the way you want. Without further ado, let's dive into the video. So I have my fabric folded into two and I've marked my starting point line. For the neck width, I'm using a neck width of 2.2 inches. 2.2 inches, and for the shoulder is 11 divided by 2. That's giving me 11.5 plus half inch sewing allowance. That's giving me 6. And for the shoulder slope, I'm going to be coming down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. So I'm going to be connecting this to this. I'll just connect it like this. And for the neck depth, I'm going to be using the same neck depth of 2. I'm using a neck depth of 2.5 inches. Here is 2.2. And I'll square it out like this. So for the armhole is going to be the chest measurement divided by 6 plus 2 inches. I'm working with 24 divided by 6 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6 inches. I have 6 inches. So I'll extend what I have here as my shoulder here to have a straight line. That's 6. And I'll connect it like this. So I'm going to be finding the midpoint of this. That's 3 inches. And I'm going to be going inward by 0.5 inches. So now I'm going to be marking the half length. From the shoulder to the half length my half length is 10.5. What I'm working with is 10.5 plus half inch for joining the lower bodice to it. That's giving 11. So now I'm going to be placing my chest divided by 6. That's 24 divided by 4 is giving me 6. I'm going to be adding 1.5 seam allowance to that, and that's the same measurement for the half length. So now I'm going to be curving out my armhole. Just connect it to the half inches we went inward by, and then connect it like shown. So this is it. So I'm going to be adding half inch for joining the shoulder seam. That's half inch. That's for joining the shoulders, and then this is I'm going to be cutting this out. So when I sew the neckline, I'm sewing the neckline by half inch. That means at the end I'm having 2.75 when I sew by half inch, and then the depth will now be 3 inches when I sew by half inch, and that is fine. So I'm going to be working with a squared neckline. So I'll go ahead and cut it out, and this is for our front. To cut the back, I folded it into two, my fabric into two, and I'm going to be using the front as a guide to cut the back. So I just left space here. That's going to be space for my zipper allowance. So for the zipper allowance, I'm going to be using 1 inch for my zipper allowance, and from here I'll just add 1 inch. You can use what you're comfortable with. 1 inch. So I'm going to be extending this to get the starting point line to make it equal with the front, so I can know what I'm working with for the back. You get. So I'm going to also mark 1 inch here. That's for my zipper allowance, and I will connect them all together like this. So For the neck, this is the actual neck line before the half-inch sewing allowance for the shoulder. So I'm going to be using 1 inch depth, 0.75 inches for the back, and I'm going to be curving the back a little this way. So if I add my half-inch sewing allowance for the back, it's going to be like this. So I'll connect this. Hope you understand what I'm doing here. So from a certain point line, which this is the initial certain point line before the half-inch sewing allowance at the shoulder, I mark 0.75 for my neck depth. So because I'm cutting directly on fabric, I have to add my sewing allowance for turning the neckline for the back, which is half-inch. So when I add a half-inch now, it's going to connect to the tip of this now, which is half-inch from here to here. So I'll just reconnect my neckline, and this is it. So another alteration I'm going to be doing is for the lower part. So I'm going to extend this line to have a straight line here. So at this lower part, I'm going to be going up by 1 inch. Just avoid deep bulge at the back, and then I'm going to connect it straight to what I have here. So I can just mark this out, and then I can lift this up a little. Then I can connect this to it. So this is center back, this is the side back, and then the neck, the armhole area is going to be coming out a little like this. So I'll go ahead and do my cutting now. So I'll leave this off and cut. So make sure my 1 inch is still intact. Yeah, so I'm going to lift it up a little, and then I can cut this out. Then I can return it. So now I'm going to be cutting my zipper allowance. So now we are done with this. I'll just measure the armhole so I can use it and cut the sleeve. We're going to subtract ½ inch from this because we're going to be joining the shoulders by ½ inch. So I'll just measure this round, it's 8, and then I'll measure the back as well. So this is what I have. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this aside. So for the lower part, I have folded my fabric again into two, and I'm going to be marking the starting point line, like shown. The starting point line, and then I'm going to be measuring the length I want the half length to be. So for the half length, I'm going to be working with 15 inches for the half length. You can see. So I'm working with 15 inches. And to the 15 inches, I'm going to be adding 1.5 inches for hemming the lower parts, making 16.5. So I will extend the measurements this way, 16.5. 16.5. So I'll go ahead and connect my dots. So this is what I have, 16.5 inches. So I'm going to be measuring my waist divided by 4. So this is for the front. My waist divided by 4, 24 divided by 4 is 6 inches. So 6 inches, I'm going to be adding 1.5 inches sewing allowance to that. So that's giving me 7.5. So give me 7.5. So this is 7.5. Just measure 7.5 here, and then I can add an extra 3 inches or 4 inches. I don't know how big I want it to be. 3 inches. Then I'm going to be extending the same measurements to the hem. So I have 7.5 first, and then 3 inches. Can make yours bigger, you can make yours smaller. And then I'm going to connect this to be straight. So as a guide, you can just measure from here to 5.5 inches as the hip line, and then you can just curve it like shown. And this is it. So this is it. So for the center front, I'm going to be taking out half inches, and I'll blend this in. And then I'm going to be adding my joining allowance of half inch. So I'll just put this up, measure half inch for joining it to the waist. That's half inches. And then I'll go ahead and cut this out. So I don't continue for the center for the front. So I don't using this as I get to cut the back. I'll keep this aside. So I'm gonna head to fold my fabric into two, and I place the front pattern we just cut out on it as a guide for cutting the back piece. So to start, I'm just going to leave a space here for my zipper allowance at the center back, and then I'm going to connect, draw a straight line to have my starting point line. No, for the back you went in by 0.5 inches, so I just need to draw a straight line. For the front, I need to say went inward by 0.5 inches to create a curve here. So for here, I'm going to be adding my 1 inch sewing allowance all the way to the hem. I mean 1 inch zipper allowance, sorry. So I'll connect them together. And I'll go ahead and do my cutting. So apart from the zipper area and leveling here, every other thing remains the same. So I'll go ahead and cut the lining piece for them. So this is the front and this is the back. I'll fold this away. This is the line I'm going to be using, and I'm going to start by cutting the lower part, the back piece. That's the lower part we just cut out now. So just go ahead and cut it out. I'll be cutting exactly what I have here. So for the full length, I'm going to be shortening the full length by half of an inch. So I'll just cut it out by 1 inch, I mean to say. So just cut it out first, after which I will shorten it. So after cutting, so now that I'm done cutting, I'll just leave this up and I'll be releasing it by half of an inch. But first of all, I'm going to be giving a notch. You know, it's 1.5 inches that we added. I'll just give it a notch as 1.5 inches. This I usually use this as a guide while sewing, so I'll just give it a notch here. I'll give it a notch here, and then I can take out the main piece. And with this guide too, I'll just cut out 1 inch and shorten it by 1 inch. That means from here, from this notch, I'll be left with half of an inch. And this is it. So I'll fold this away. To cut out the lining of everything. This is for the front, and these are for the back lower part. That's the back lower part. So the back lower part, and this for the sleeves. So just exactly, this is for the sleeve, these are for the sleeves, and then this is for the upper bodies, the back upper bodies together with the lining, and this is for the front with the lining. So now we're going to enter into the sewing proper. This is all we need to make our gown. So this is the final outcome of our dress, how our dress came out to be. And then I'm going to go ahead to design it with this floral design. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.